Welcome to Colchester's Castle Park here, and today we are going to look at our spring bedding displays. It's looking wonderful at the moment, just starting to come out, and today we're going to have a look at a few of the different plants that you find in the spring bedding displays. So, having a look at this particular one here, we have a mix of Hyacinthus orientalis mixed with Primula cross hybrida, which is the polyanthus. The bed just behind where the cameraman is here, over here, we've got a lovely blue and red display. This is Hyacinthus orientalis again, the hyacinths, which is a bulb to give it a bit of height within this bed, and then dotted throughout to give it a good groundwork and an edger to this particular bed is a daisy, but it's a cultivar of the daisy. It's Bellis perennis and it's one of the pomponate cultivars. Making our way down the spring bedding area, we're just going to go for a walk. Just while we're on this bed here, usually in the centre of a bedding area you have a plant which will give you height within a border, and that's called a dot plant. A dot plant just gives a bit of height and stature to the border, but this particular one is Cordyline australis, and I think due to the winter winds and then the winter wet as well, it's not done very well at all this year. Looking a bit sorry for itself. Making our way through here. In this particular bed here we've got two plants. We've got Primula cross hybrida, which is the polyanthus, and then we've got a tulip. The Latin name for tulip is tulipa, nice and easy that one. It's just about to come out into planted in between the Primula cross hybrid and the polyanthus to give a bit of height in this border too. Making our way up to the more central area. On this particular one here, we've got two main plants in here. Again, we've got the Hyacinthus orientalis. This time we've got a pink one, and then interplanted in between the Hyacinthus orientalis is the Bellis perennis pomponate, but it also forms an edge around the outside of the bed. Again, we've got the Cordyline australis in the middle, which hasn't done too well because of the environmental conditions over the winter time. And then if we pan just beyond that, we've got two triangular beds, and there's a couple of, one of them is a more unusual spring bedding plant that you don't see too often these days. We've got the Hyacinthus orientalis. We've got a white form this time, but interplanted between it and to form the edge around it, we've got Dianthus barbatus, which is a sweet William. And then just in the central beds down here again, we have, we'll have to take a bit of a closer look actually. I can see the Bellis perennis, the pomponate, and then the white one. I think it might just be a white pomponate, but let's go and have a look. Let's follow me.
We just had a look, didn't we?
It is, yes. It is the white and the red Bellis perennis pomponate, but then interplanted between it is another Hyacinthus orientalis. It's a nice sort of bluey purple one that's coming out. I don't know if you can zoom in, Mick, but it's a bit of a later one than the other ones that are coming out at the moment. Then just beyond this we have the polyanthus, and we've got polyanthus, just a yellow one. I'm not sure if that's just a polyanthus. We're just again going to have another look. It is indeed just a yellow polyanthus, but there is a tulip that's coming up that's been interplanted in between. And then we've got two more beds just to have a look at, just beyond the yellow polyanthus, which are Latin name again, Primula cross hybrida. We've got a half moon shaped bed which has got Myosotis sylvatica in, which is the forget-me-not. I've had a look at this earlier, and there are white, pink and blue cultivars of this in this particular bed just in the distance, and then again we've got Hyacinthus orientalis just interplanted in between. We'll have a look at that as we go past, and then we'll go on to a final bed which is in the centre of the bedding display, and then it's mirrored on the other side, so there's no need to go any further. So the forget-me-nots we're just passing, Myosotis sylvatica, interplanted with Hyacinthus orientalis. Moving on to a final bed. We have a double edger on this bed. Both Bellis perennis. We've got a white one on the very outer edge and then a pinky red one on the inner edge. And then groundwork surrounding it, which is Erysimum cherryi, which is the wallflower, the bedding wallflower, Erysimum cherryi, interplanted with a tulip. And then in the very centre it goes down again in a gradient to the two Bellis perennis, the white one, and then the lovely pinky red one. I'm going to take you up for part 2 of our tour. This particular area that Mick's filming down here is in a sunken area which was part of the moat for Colchester Castle. Where you've got the big embankment in the background, that's the embankment leading up to the castle. We can't quite see the castle, but the castle is beyond the embankment, and the moat used to encircle the castle all the way around. But this part was kept and has been made into this, you know, extremely good and high quality bedding area. Now the bedding area which you can see here is for the spring. This will get changed at the end of May, and summer bedding will be put in here. The summer bedding will remain in here from the end of May, beginning of June, right the way through to the October time, when the summer bedding's taken out and the spring bedding's put back in again. Thank you. And here we are for part 2 of our spring bedding tour of Colchester's Castle Park. Now, the bed on my right hand side is a lovely combination. It's a yellow and blue combination, great colours that go together. We've got the blue Myosotis sylvatica, and then we have the yellow tulip, quite an early tulip, this particular one here. And let's hope that the tulip is still out when the Myosotis comes out, the forget-me-not. Otherwise, I've seen bedding schemes before where the tulips have gone over before the groundwork, the main colour, actually comes out, so you don't get the two flowering at the same time. Just over on my right hand side is a lovely combination. I really like it when you've just got one colour in a particular area, and this is quite a striking scarlet red colour. This is a Primula cross hybrida, commonly known as the polyanthus. There is going to be a later colour. There are some tulips that have been interplanted between the Primula cross hybrida, and these will come out at a later time. The chances of these two flowering at the same time are quite high, because the polyanthus actually does go flowering for quite some time during the spring bedding. And as we scan round, you can see we've got a mixed polyanthus in the centre round bed there. Not a great fan of that actually. We call that polychromatic colours, where you've got many colours in the one bed, whereas where we just had the one red polyanthus, that's called a monochromatic display. You can see the use of dot plants in these particular beds here. In the central bed you've got Phoenix canariensis, and then on the two end beds you've got Trachycarpus fortunei. Now the great thing about using palms is that you can use them as central dot plants for both summer bedding and for your winter stroke spring bedding at the same time. And they offer a bit of structure, a bit of maturity that if you didn't have them. So I really like the use of them. In fact, in that central moat area, I would probably use more palms within there to create a bit of height and structure. If we scan over just to the left hand side, we'll just do this one from a distance. You can see the yellow polyanthus, Primula crosshybrida, in a triangular type shaped bed, and that's really lovely when you've just got one colour in there. Towards the outer edges you've got some more polyanthus, Primula crosshybrida, but in different colours, and the central bed with another phoenix palm in it, but underplanted with Bellis perennis, the white one, and then interplanted throughout that is the Hyacinthus orientalis. So that concludes our little walk around Castle Park for today, looking at the spring bedding and the species used. Thanks for watching. And here we are in Colchester's Castle Park, this time around to have a look at bulbs which have been naturalised in grassland areas. This is a great example to look at here. We've got a little dwarf daffodil, and the Latin name for daffodil is Narcissus, and this particular cultivar is called Tete Tete. Now Tete Tete is a really lovely small one, doesn't have as much foliage as bigger tall cultivars such as Carrollton, so after it's gone over it's not quite as messy in the grasslands than some of the bigger cultivars. But this is on a north facing slope in Castle Park. It's just a blanket from one side to the other, then there's a central step area, and then there's the banking that you can see filmed here. There's an exact bank on the other side of the topiary, and it really is quite stunning. The use of a single species or a single cultivar can be far more effective than having a mixed bag of a particular species in any one area. So just to say again, this type of bulb growing is called naturalising in grassland. Thank you for listening. Here we are in the town centre in Colchester, just having a look at some window boxes, or large window boxes, which have been put onto railings to spruce the town up in the spring. We have as a central dot plants to give height. We've got Euonymus japonicus, a little cultivar here. We've got Capressus macrocarpa, Goldcrest in the centre. We've got some cotton lavender, some Santolina, and then one that's on your list is the classic pansy, Viola cross Whitrockiana. It's done particularly well in the tubs because it's drier. If they'd been outside in the bedding areas this year, they would not have done as well. They don't like the cold, they don't like the wet, but in hanging baskets and tubs, they seem to do ever so well. So you've got blue and yellow in here, which is another great colour combination for the springtime.